sure to smash the subscribe button. It really helps out. I'm nearing that 500 mark, so hopefully we'll get there soon. And if I've passed it by the time I upload this video, because I don't know when that'll be. Yay! Thanks, guys. So yeah, I think this is gonna be a kind of long video. My videos get a bit longer lately. Don't really know why. Just want to really. But yeah, in today's video I'm planning to do like an hour facts video. More specifically, a language and linguistics video. My language videos have been the most popular, like when I'm actually speaking a different language, like the Learning Spanish Duolingo with me, and also the Reading Harry Potter in 4 languages. But either way, my fact videos seem to do consistently semi-well. Depending, things can change, but yeah, I thought I'd do another fact one. They're easy to do. So yeah, I'm just gonna read lists I find or do AI. Before I was doing AI, but now I'm trying to see if I could find different lists as well first. So yeah, I have a few lists open. If they start to repeat themselves, whatever. And I also asked AI, and I've got like 200 from AI, and then 50 plus 60, which is 110, plus 55, which is 165, and then there's 25, which is 190, and then 200, so I have 390, but I don't think I'll get through them all. But of course, yeah, I'll probably get through like maybe 200 max or something. But yeah, I'm gonna get straight into it. I think I've been doing a bit too long intros, but someone said they liked the rambles, but oh well. I think I'm just gonna get straight into it. So it says 50 plus language facts that will surprise you, and that's kind of the first list. It says, do you know did you know there are 7,111 spoken languages in the world today? That's a lot. This is according to Ethnologue, which is the most extensive language catalogue in the world. However, the number of languages decline every year. Of the 111 languages, more than 90% are spoken by less than 100,000 people. This means less dominant languages are more likely to decline in number as compared to the more dominant languages. So yeah, the first fact is there's a language spoken by 8 people. Can you imagine this? The Buso language is spoken by 8 people in the world. It's the language of southern Bantoid of Cameroon. There were 8 speakers of the language in 1986 and 3 in 2005, and currently I'm not sure. Over 300 languages are spoken in the US. The US is considered to be one of the most diverse countries in the world. There's a huge number of unique settlers here. It's just sad they had a problem choosing the official language when creating laws by the Continental Congress. There's no official language in the US. With so many languages in the US, there's no official language. Some people think it's English, but it's not. There are so many settlers, bringing confusion in the official language to use. Spoken languages become extinct. A language dies out if there is no one to speak it or record using written variations. The dialect dies out, and today there are 241 languages that have become extinct. Half of the population of the world speaks 23 languages. More than half of the global population speaks 23 languages. This is as compared to more than 7,000 languages. Is interesting. So of course they don't mean each person speaks 23 languages. It means of that, like, half the world, out of the 7,000 languages, half of them speak 23, which is insane. 7,000, just 23, you know. It says half the world is bilingual. At least more than half the world's population speak more than one language. One country has more than 800 languages. Papua New Guinea is the country with the most numbers of languages in the world. It has 841 languages, but it is predicted that 40 of these languages are to become extinct as only a few people speak them. That's crazy. Most translated document. The Bible is the most translated document, followed closely by Pinocchio. The Bible is translated to 683 languages, and parts of it has been translated to more than 3,000 languages. language dating back to 3500 BC, followed by Egyptian dating back to 3300 BC. Old Chinese dates back to 1250 BC. The love language of French is known in the world today as the love language, not only because of the accent, but French and Italy are known to be fine love destinations. Happens to be the most dominant in these countries. Smallest alphabet. The Papuan language is the language of Rotokas and is known to have 11 letters only. This makes it the smallest alphabet. Almost all languages in the world have been influenced by another language. This is all thanks to diversity and immigration of people in different places in the world. Basque is the only language in the world that has no correlation to any other language. It is spoken in the mountains between Spain and France, and the people here didn't get out too much, hence the isolation of the language. Most official languages. While the US boasts having no official language, South Africa is known to have the most official languages, totaling to 11. All this thanks to the diversity of the country and their culture. Honestly, I thought both English and Spanish were official languages of the US, but I didn't know there was no official language. Chinese Mandarin is the most spoken language in the world, with more than 1.3 billion speakers. These are more native speakers and languages and well adopted in the world. The language of war. One of the most beautiful languages to learn is Russian. It's also considered by most people as language of war. Not to know why, but the average Russian is said to be always angry, and the language doesn't do their moods any good. Most dominant language. While it's not the most spoken language in the world, English is the most dominant. It's well received and adopted in the world, that you'll find it easy to learn, and it's an official language in most countries. Thank the British Empire and the iPhone. The dominance and diverse qualities of the English language are all thanks to the iPhone and the British Empire. England had so many territories and colonies, and they had no other option other than to adopt the language. The official language of the air. Did you even know anything like this exists? This is the language of airplane travel. It happens to be English, adding to its dominance in the world. Everywhere in the world, the pilot and his crew know English. Next up, the longest alphabet, the Cambodian language. It's a bit dark in here, so I'm going to change the ISO. So now it's actually at the brightest option, and I think it looks fine, but just tell you how it gets dark so quickly these days. But not like dark, it's kind of just like dark in the room. So I'm glad I'm reading from my laptop, because if I was reading from a paper, I don't think I'd be able to read it. Even reading from my laptop, it feels kind of dark, but I think also that's because I put the light quite low on the laptop, but I'm gonna put it up a little bit. But yeah, so the longest alphabet, the Cambodian language has the longest alphabet with more than 73 characters. It's also one of the toughest languages to learn by yourself. The language of symbols. Instead of alphabets, the Chinese Mandarin language consists of symbols. These represent different letters and are written differently. Most people assume they are drawn, not written. Toughest language to learn. Chinese Mandarin is considered to be the toughest language to learn in the world, all thanks to lack of alphabets. They have symbols instead, and it's estimated the average Chinese local knows more than 8,000 symbols, while you have to know more than 3,000 symbols to read a newspaper. Alphabet is Greek. Alphabet is an English word derived from Greek. The first two letters of the Greek alphabet are alpha and beta, that in turn make the word alphabet. First printed language, and I never thought about it like that. Alpha, beta. Is it beta or is it beta? Beta. Oh my gosh. Anyway, first printed language. The first language to be printed was German. It wasn't the first language to be written, however, but it was printed on a book. Most popular languages. English and French are two of the most popular languages used on the internet. These two are thought in every country in the world, with some of these countries adopting either as as their official national language. Death pledge. The English language has been influenced heavily by other languages. The word mortgage means death pledge in French. Nigeria has more English speakers than UK. Africa is one of the continents where the English language is well adopted. Nigeria has approximately 90 million English speakers as compared to the UK, which is approximately 60 million. I think it's just saying there that, because English is obviously the first language in the UK, but like in Nigeria it's not the first language, but there's still more English speakers in the UK, I believe. English dialects. Did you know there are more than 24 English dialects in the US alone? A native speaker can tell you people from New York, California, Boston, and other places sound different. English dominates even in the digital world. Of the information stored by computers in the world, 80% is in English. Fastest spoken language. Japanese speakers speak faster as compared to any other language, while Mandarin speakers speak slower. Japanese and Chinese are not related. As much as different languages are influenced by others, Japanese and Chinese aren't related in any way. Japanese is not related directly to any other language, but the writing systems are similar, but not the same. English has no guided institution. Of the top 10 most spoken languages, English is the only language with no institution. Setting language standards, experts can dictate the language's rules, but they don't have decisive powers. English is the most evolving language. Each year, the English dictionary sees an addition of almost 4,000 new words. This is the result of the diversification of the language and technology, which has led to the replacement of older words. English has the shortest grammatically correct sentence. Go! Exclamation mark. This is a command or sentence that instructs people to do something. Here the subject isn't written or spoken, but only understood. The English and British royalty have a motto. Surprisingly, this motto isn't written in English, and yet these two are the mother of the English language. The motto is written in French. The motto of the Order of the Garter, which is UK's third most prestigious honour, is also written in French. English did not originate in England. Even though England is a land of the English language, the language itself traces its roots in Germany from Angels. I'm not sure I'm saying that right now, who were people living in the West German seaside. Asia has the most languages. Asia has more than 2,300 languages spoken closely, followed by Africa with 2,138. Surprisingly, Europe has the least languages with only 286 of them. The English alphabet gets smaller. Over the years, the English alphabet has grown smaller. It used to have 28 letters, now has 26. I never knew that. I wonder what the other two letters are. Maybe I'll look it up later. Ghost words. The English dictionary had a ghost word, doored, which appeared in the dictionary for more than 7 years before it was noticed and removed. I guess that's just not a real word. They put it in there. I'm not sure if someone put that on purpose or it was a mistake. There are over 200 fake languages. These are the languages made up from books, TV, or film. Klingon is one of these languages. Also, Parselton. The US has more than 300 language speakers. While the US doesn't have an official language, it's more than 300 languages, making it daunting to come up with one official language. Italian is not the official language of Italy. They chose a dialect known as the Florentine as their official language. Most regions here speak their own dialects. Kinshasa is the second largest French-speaking city. Paris is the largest French-speaking city, closely followed by Kinshasa, the capital of Congo. German has 3 genders. While most languages have either feminine or masculine, German has feminine, masculine, and neuter. English, and it's like a da, di, das. Da is masculine, di is feminine, and das is neutral, and it all really affects the grammar. The grammar, like accusative, a dative, stuff like that. English is a French variant. Reason being, 30% of the English words are derived derived from French. Half brain. When you speak and understand English, use only the left side of the brain, while when the same applies to Chinese, you use both sides of the brain. I believe it's Chinese because some of them, there's actually like a few misspelled things in here in this article that I'm not guessing the words. But yeah, the first language in outer space, Russian was the first language to be spoken in outer space, not English as many people believe. Most words, the English language has the most number of words with over 250,000 of them. North Korea and South Korea speak different languages. They've been separated for so long they have different grammatical rules and vocabularies. London has more than 300 different language speakers. Anyone has a good chance to find someone who speaks their language here. 50. The Pope understands a lot of languages. Not sure how many languages the Pope can speak, but he tweets in 9 languages. The Spanish account has the majority of followers. I wonder if the Pope does that though now. And 51. Water and air. Did you know that in Indonesia air means water? That's so weird. They literally put 51 just to write 50 plus in the article. I mean, it could be for a different reason, but it seems that seems to be the reason. So yeah, I'll go to this other one. I'm not sure about this article as much, but some of them will repeat itself, of course. Yeah, so a person who masters languages is called a polyglot, I believe. Polyglot, or there's some, maybe there's a certain way to say that. Some of them are repeats, so I'm gonna skip them. The repeats. First language on speak. It says Basque is a mystery language spoken by around 700,000 people in the Basque country in Spain. This language is so unique in compared to any other language that experts still aren't sure where it comes from. It even has its own numbering system. I might have done that before. Scrabble letter distribution differs with each region slash country. That does make sense though. International version of the board game Scrabble reflects how different languages work. In Poland, the 5th most common title is Z, while in Finland the 3rd most common tiles are T and N. For Slovenia and Catalan, E is the most common tile, the same as the original English version. That does make sense though, because if they were all the same, it will be easier to win. In some languages, harder and different. Like, so if Z is the 5th most common in Poland, it should have a lower score, but Z in English, I believe, is like 10 because it's not that common at all. So you could win like super easy in Poland, or get just not win, but just get higher scores. You know, I wouldn't say win because then everyone would be on the same playing field. It would just be like a higher baseline. Okay, yeah. The world's most translated novel almost flopped. Paulo Coelho, The Alchemist, holds the Guinness World Record for the most translated book by a living author, or did not have a great start or grand start. Originally written in Portuguese, the novel almost flopped in the native language. The book went with the publisher did not want to reprint it. However, the French translation topped French bestsellers, eventually into its critical acclaim. Currently, the book is translated into 80 languages and distributed in 170 countries. Crazy. There's an interesting Bible myth about the origin of language. The Tower of Babel is a tale warning against man's hubris, but it also gives an interesting explanation as to why people speak different languages. According to the tale, people used to speak only one language. After the Great Flood, a unified group agreed to build a city with a tower high enough to reach heaven. Because of this arrogance, God made them speak different languages in the middle of the process. The construction was halted because people could not understand each other anymore. From then on, they separated into different nations, which is why, according to the Bible, different countries have different languages. Ambigrams are words that look the same from different angles. For example, the word swims will look the same even when upside down. I'm just trying to. Oh, I get that now because the W and the M. Yeah, similarly, sons. Yeah, because the U and the N, and dollop. Yeah, it has to be have two things that kind of are the same, like U and N are the same kind of flipped. W, M, D and B will still read the same way, and the ones that flip, they kind of need to, yeah. Most people in the world are second language English speakers than minutes, a new word is created. That makes about 14.7 words a day. On an estimate, 5,400 new English words are created per year. However, only 1,000 of those words are adopted by the public into general use. Oh, and they must mean in English, because it kind of just said like in general, you know. So William Shakespeare invented 1,700 words. Shakespeare coined over 1,700 of our common words by changing nouns into verbs, verbs into adjectives, combining words not used together, adding prefixes and suffixes, and composing original words. The word synonym doesn't have a synonym. How's that for strange language facts? The longest word without vowels is rhythms. Rhythms. I guess that's rhythms, not rhymes, because rhymes would have adjective, yeah. Rhythms, the longest common word without any vowels. The longest words you can make with only 4 letters is senseless. Makes sense, huh? The word goodbye is a combination or a contraction of God be with you. Goodbye originated from the late 16th century. It was first written as good God, BWYE, in Gabriel Harvey's 1573 works. It says Russian is the most widespread native language in Europe. Of all European languages, Russian is the most common with 120 million native speakers. German follows at 95 million native speakers. In addition, Germany is the only official language of Germany, Austria, and Liechtenstein, and the sacred language of Switzerland, Belgium, and Luxembourg. Russian might be the most common language, but German is more officially used in trade and commerce. And also Liechtenstein is like a really small country, but maybe you've heard of it properly, but yeah. So Japanese has no distinction for singular and plural words. The Japanese language doesn't have plurals the way English does. Plurals are not individual words, but a combination of the words plus a number and or counter before it. In some cases, repetition of kanji indicates plurality. N is the most common English consonant. N, or, and T are the most common consonants in the English language. Learning a second language can slow aging. With auto memorization and acclimation, learning other languages also improves memory. In fact, studies show that bilinguality, maybe I'm saying that wrong, can delay the onset of dementia by several years. I never knew that. Not sure how true that is, but could be, yeah, for sure. Over 200 artificial languages have been invented for media. Okay, we've already done that before. The other one, onomatopoeia, I'm saying that wrong, varies with each country. Onomatopoeia is defined as a word formed from the sound it makes. For example, the bang of a drum or the hoot of an owl. However, not everyone hears these things the same way. An American would say a frog goes ribbit ribbit, but a Japanese person would say it goes kero kero. Okay. Yeah, we've done that. Wait. There's a language that consists entirely of whistles. The Silbo language of La Gomera, Spain, is a tonal language fully made up of distinct whistles. Whistle languages are often found in Turkey, France, Mexico, South America, India, and Africa. Botswana has a language made entirely of clicks. Click languages or Goshen languages use solely clicking sounds to communicate. Typically they are made up of 4 clicks, but the southern languages have 5th click, kiss, click as well. You've done that. You've done that. Yeah, we've done a few of these. And the world record for most languages spoken is 58. Zayed Faza of Lebanon holds the Guinness World Record for most languages spoken. Faza claims he's fluent in 58 languages, including Arabic, Polish, Thai, Urdu, Norwegian, and more. The title is quite disputed, although Faza has proven his prowess in tests. There have also been cases where he failed to understand basic languages he claims to master on live TV. The UN has 6 official languages. The UN 6 main languages are Arabic, Chinese, English, French, Russian, and Spanish. Most UN documents are released in these languages. The longest word in Finnish language years ago, and he's still going with the videos, but he said it a lot better the second time. And he has like a Finnish wife, I believe, or a girlfriend, probably, I think, wife. And says the mouthful simply means doubtful. Imagine having to say all that for doubtful. Not keyboard smashing. D said G or she crossed, and D F T K D S T T. You sprained it are actual words. So basically it means that's not a mistake, that's an actual word. That not keyboard smashing. That's what it means. The dash DASLHIJIYT, sorry, DASLHIYT dialect of Berber, North Africa, contains vowelless words such as the ones above. 9 languages don't have words for color, they only distinguish between black and white. In Dan, New Guinea, things can either be milli, dark, or mola, light. In the Yiddish language, finger means toe. Word language facts, anyone. When a word creates another word when spelled backwards, it's called semordnilap, which is palindromes backwards. For example, pots form stop, which is why it is a semordnilap. But actually, I forget what a palindrome means. We got it in another fact video, I'm sure, but I'm gonna look up. It basically means a sequence that reads the same backwards as forwards. I don't know actually but what the difference there is, but yeah. The largest alphabet in the world is 774 characters long. The world's largest alphabet belongs to Cambodian language, Khmer, which consists of 33 consonants, 23 vowels, and 12 independent vowels. Yeah, we've done that before. French was the UK's official language for 600 years, similar to why 30% of English words derive from French. William the Conqueror's rule influenced the mother tongue of the UK because people in power spoke French. English adopted French as its mother tongue until the 15th century. Lingua franca are also known as bridge languages. A lingua franca connects speakers of different mother tongues to a common language. For example, in traveling, you're more likely to ask questions in English than your mother tongue, depending on where you are, of course. Cantonese is the most used language for business around Southeast Asia. About 60 million people in Southeast Asia use Cantonese as their main business language. Cantonese is the most common language for business and trade because most Chinese who immigrated to Western countries in the 20th century came from the Cantonese-speaking areas of China. So that's the next list down. That's another 60 down. Actually, I'll go to the top of the list because there was some stuff at the top of the list. Yeah, we'll do that as well. It's like they're quick fire facts, kind of. So this language comes from the Latin word lingua, tongue. Linguistics is the scientific study of language. Language first evolved 50,000 to 150,000 years ago, around the time of the modern Homo sapiens. 40% of languages are endangered. The Broca and Werner regions of the brain process language. One language goes extinct every 2 weeks. English is the standard language for naval and aerial communications. Panini of India started the formal study of language. English is the most taught and studied language. And then interesting facts. There are over 200 Hawaiian terms for rain. Cryptophasia is a secret language of twins. No one is sure where language really came from, and the average person only speaks a few hundred words per day. So next up we have another list. Some of them are repeats, of course, but this one's interesting. The longest English word contains 189,819 letters. The word often cited as, and then it has like some of the letters dot 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 and the rest of the letters because they don't want to say them all, of course. It's a chemical name for the world's largest known protein, titin. The ellipses are used to indicate the thousands of letters between the beginning and end of the words. swear I was doing another fact video and it said the longest one, but it was like 20 something for the longest word, not this many, so I don't know. The word Q is the only English word that maintains its pronunciation when the last four letters are removed. Q. Okay, the extra letters just happen to be in line because Q means line, of course, yeah. Tamil is the oldest language still in use today. The Tamil language forms part of the family of Dravidian languages. It's over 5,000 years old. It's the only ancient language that's made it into modern times. And as well, about the Q thing, is that like a British thing or like a UK English thing to say Q? Because I think it's just a line in the US, but we say Q here. And I would say line as well, I understand that, but I wouldn't, it's like the same with the car, like the boot of a car. You might say, what would you say? The trunk, maybe, I don't know. Which is like, just the bit that you like put things in the back of the car, Anyway, the Khmer language has the longest alphabet. Yeah, I think we've done that before. Yeah, we have. Let's skip that. Sign language is not universal. There are over 300 sign languages used globally, each with its own regional differences and variations. Yeah, I knew that, but it's kind of annoying. It's like ASL, American Sign Language, BSL, British Sign Language. But it's kind of annoying because, even if you're both deaf and you're from different places, you won't. I guess it's because sign language is based on the language, like where you're from, like American Sign. But even like ASL and BSL are different, and English is the same language. Like if someone started talking in American accent, like I'd understand them, Same the opposite. I'd assume like American person will understand a person with a British accent, but I'm not sure how close ASL and BSL are in that way, if they're completely different. But that's annoying because, if I was to meet an American person, I'd understand them. But if a deaf American person met a deaf British person, would they be able to understand them? I'm not sure. If you don't, let me know. I might look that up later. But yeah, it's interesting. It makes more sense with like foreign languages, but even the same languages, like I'm not sure because they're not different languages. The English, at least. So the Rotokas language has the shortest alphabet. This indigenous language spoken in Papua New Guinea contains only 12 letters. I think I've done that before, but yeah, these are letters: A, E, G, I, K, O, P, or S, T, U, and V. And it makes me think of something. There was like a video where it says random letters, and it's like countries begin with whatever, and it would pick different letters, like English letters, on TikTok or something. And I saw someone and they got one, and then I looked up if there was any countries with the letters. I don't think there was any country with the letters, so it was unfair. They got like dunk their head in water, in this bowl of water, if they couldn't get it within like 3 seconds. But yeah. So we've got some more repeats. The shortest word in the English language containing all vowels is like UNOIA, and all the vowels. It means all the all the EOIA and U. Sorry, 5 vowels, right? EOIA and U. But it also has an N. It doesn't mean only vowels. I mean it contains all the vowels. The 6-letter word refers to a feeling of goodwill towards someone. The most translated document in the world is the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, UDHR. Today, the 6-page document is available in over 500 languages. The Arabic languages influenced many other languages. Certain English words like algebra, alcohol, lemon are all derived from Arabic. Other languages like Portuguese, Spanish, and French also have many words with Arabic origins. So the language with the largest vocabulary is English. English has a total of over 1 million words. Of these, about 170,000 are actively in use, while there are about 47,000 obsolete words. So the oldest written language in the world is the Sumerian language. The Sumerian language originated in ancient Mesopotamia, modern-day Iraq, around 3100 BC. Sumerian writing was based on cuneiform script, a technique that involved pressing a reed Linguistics, written by Antoine de Saint-Exupéry. I'm saying that wrong, sorry. It's the second most translated book in the world after the Bible. The book, first published in 1943, has been translated into over 300 languages and sold millions of copies worldwide. And that's interesting because we actually have The Little Prince in this room that I'm in now, but I've never read it. And I saw it there, I had no clue we had it, but maybe I should read it. It's like a children's book. Or maybe read it in a video. The most common used language for classical music is Italian. In classical music and opera, the lyrics and libretto, the text of an opera, are an important part of the overall musical experience. Italian was seen as a natural choice for this due to its musicality and rhythmic structure. The language with the lowest information density is Japanese. Information density refers to the amount of information that can be conveyed in a given unit of language. This is usually measured by the number of words or characters required to convey a message. So a language with a low information density requires more words to be used to convey information. Japanese is considered to have a low information density for several reasons. These include the use of indirect language and formal and polite speech. Languages with low information density tend to be spoken faster. Interestingly, languages with low information density like Japanese, Spanish, and French tend to be spoken at a faster rate. In contrast, languages with high information density are usually spoken at a slower rate, so in the end, the pace of which information is conveyed remains relatively similar across languages. That's interesting. So, the most widely used sign language is American Sign Language, ASL. It's estimated that over 500,000 people in North America use ASL as their primary means of communication. Language is estimated to have developed about 100,000 years ago. All this interesting theory is supported by evidence, like a detection of the FOXP2 gene, often referred to as a language gene, in fossils from that time. Interesting. So yeah, some of them are repeats, so I'm just trying to skip the repeats. What about this one? There are... Wait, we've already done that one. Yeah, a lot of these are repeats. The letter E is the most commonly used in the English language. It's estimated that the letter E appears in approximately 11% of all English words. I mean, it's not exactly but it's not exactly like a news, That's kind of obvious. Sign language does not only involve hand gestures. Sign language also involves the use of facial expression to convey emotions and emphasis, as well as the use of body language. Bolivia is the most official language. I'm not sure if we've done before, so I'll do it again. Bolivia takes the lead with 37 officially recognized languages. Zimbabwe and South Africa follow with 16 and 11 official languages respectively. So, these are really like repeated. Yeah, a lot of them are the same. Yep. Same. Yeah. Okay, yeah, these are like literally the same article a second time. English. No, we've done that before. The Da language contains the most click sounds. This language is spoken in Botswana and Namibia and utilizes 5 distinct clicks along with a variety of unique tones and vowels. New York City is the world's most linguistically diverse city. It's estimated that over 800 languages are spoken in New York City. English has the most loan words of any languages. English has incorporated words from a variety of languages. These include Latin, Greek, French, Spanish, German, Italian, Dutch, and over 300 other languages. In total, loan words are estimated to make up between 60 and 80% of the English language, loan words being words they've borrowed from other languages. Let's see. I think I'm just going to move on to now the AI that hour mark. Gonna be tough. The 40 minutes was easy. But, okay. The word bookkeeper is the only unhyphenated English word with 3 consecutive double letters. Oh, that's cool, yeah. There's 2 O's, then 2 K's, then 2 E's in a row. So, like, there's no space, anything between them. There's no word for hello in Klingon, the language spoken by Klingons in Star Trek, like a made-up language. The word computer used to refer to a human who performed calculations. The word oxymoron is itself an oxymoron as it combines oxy and moron. So oxy is sharp and moron is dull. That's interesting. The sentence, the quick brown fox jumps over the lazy dog, uses every letter of the alphabet. This one is kind of a bit of a contradiction to the one we did earlier. It says there's no definitive longest word in the English language, as new words are constantly being coined. But what about that really long, like, that had like thousands of letters? I don't know about that one then. The word book is one of the most common used nouns in the English language, and yeah, Japanese has 3 writing systems: hiragana, katakana, and kanji. In English, I is the only pronoun that is capitalized. The word listen contains the same letters as the word silent. The Eskimo Aleut language family has many words for different types of snow. Buffalo, 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 and some of them are like 2 of those buffaloes or 3 of those buffaloes are capitalized. Is this a grammatically correct sentence? In Morse code, the letter E is represented by a single dot. The word hello was not commonly used as greeting until the invention of the telephone. In French, the word for Hanover is gueule de bois, which means wooden mouth. The word sibling comes from the Old English word sib, meaning relative. The word Q is almost always followed by the letter U in English words. The term onomatopoeia refers to words that imitate the sounds they describe, like buzz or meow. I think we had one of that before. The word uncopyrightable is the longest English word that can be written without repeating a letter. In Spanish, esposa can mean both wives and handcuffs. The word SYZYGY has no vowels. It means the element of celestial objects. I just don't want to try to pronounce that, so that's why I'm spelling it. There are more English words that start with the letter S than any other letter. The longest, we've done that before. Oh yeah, but the longest word that has 189,819 letters takes over 3 hours to pronounce. Like what? How would you pronounce that without stopping? The word robot was first coined by Czech writer Karel Čapek in his 1920 play Or You Or. The word selfie was Oxford Dictionary's word of the year in 2013. The lipogram is a form of writing that intentionally excludes one or more letters, such as Gadsby by Ernest Vincent Wright, which include the word letter E. I'm not sure. The word butterfly is derived from the Old English word butterfloge, which means butter thief. I think that's interesting. Like, I'm just like looking at the app and I swear there's more space in my head. I swear there was less before, but maybe I'm going crazy. The word run has the most meanings of any English word. I don't really know how it has so many meanings. I went on a run this morning, or I went on a run this afternoon. I did though. I don't know how it means much more than that, but yeah. The word news is an acronym for north, east, west, south. I have no clue about that. Maybe it means is a German term that means finding pleasure in the misfortunes of others, and we've done this in my untranslatable language video. The 203 untranslatable words in English, like words to English, and yeah, check it out if you haven't after this video. It's interesting for me for sure. The language of the most native speakers in Africa is Swahili. The Korean writing system, Hangul, was created by King Sinjoy the Great in the 15th century to promote literacy. Esperanto is a constructed international auxiliary language created by L.L. Zamenhof in the late 19th century to promote global communication. Okay. The Inuit language is spoken in the Arctic, often have multiple words for different types of snow and ice. The word dreamt is the only word in the English language that ends in MT. I think I saw that in another facts video. Tonal languages like Mandarin Chinese can change the meaning of a word by altering the pitch or tone of communication, or pronunciation, sorry. The constructed language, Lojban, was designed to be culturally neutral and to have a logical grammar. The longest word in Finnish is, oh yeah, we've done that before. Oh no, sorry, this is a different word, or like it means something different. Sorry, the other one meant something different, but I can't pronounce either of them. It said this one means airplane, jet, turbine, engine auxiliary, mechanic, non-commissioned officer, student. Thinking about it, that is just one word in Finnish, but it takes more words to say that in English, it seems. Or not more words, of course it takes more words. It takes more like space, letters. Some African languages like ZHOSA use click consonants in their phonetics. It says anti-disestablishmentarianism is one of the longest words in the English language, or to opposition to the disestablishment of a state church. The Australian Aboriginal language are some of the world's oldest and most diverse languages with unique sounds and structures. The word honorificatudinibus, I don't know how to say that, is one of the longest words in the English language and was used by Shakespeare in Love Labour's Lost. The extinct word of it Gul was constructed to be incredibly precise with over 8,000 grammatical categories. Something that I can't pronounce is a Welsh village name with 58 letters, often cited as one of the longest place names in the world. And yeah, I've seen lots of videos of people pronouncing this, either natives or people just trying to pronounce it. The sentence "colorless green ideas sleep furiously" is a famous example of a grammatically correct sentence, but schematically meaningless sentence created by Noam Chomsky. The language Burra, spoken by an Amazonian tribe, has an incredibly limited numbers of phonemes and doesn't use recursion in its grammar. The word temis refers to the insertion of a word or phrase into another, like absolute frickin' lutely, like so frickin' will be in the middle of absolutely. The first English dictionary was written by Samuel Johnson and published in 1755. The Voynich manuscript is an ancient text full of an unknown script and illustrations which is yet to be deciphered. The term agglutinative language refers to languages like Turkish, where affixes are added to root words to indicate grammatic relationships. Who knows what that means though? The indigenous Hawaiian language is only 13 letters, making one of the shortest alphabets in the world. I think we've done that one before. The sentence I before E except after C has more exceptions than words that follow from English. Oh, know that. That always confused me. The language of the Inca Empire, Quechua, I'm not sure how to say that either, is still sold by millions in South America. Sesquipedalian something means a tendency to use long words and is an example of a long word describing itself. Okay, interesting. It says the past language is an ergative absolutive language. A rare linguist the subject of a transitive verb is treated differently from an intransitive one. There's no word for yes or no in some Australian Aboriginal languages. Instead, they use elaborate ways to affirm or negate statements. In the constructed language Toki Pona, there are only around 120 words, emphasizing simplicity and minimalism. The longest palindrome is in a major dictionary is tata ratat, which means a knock on the door. Logomaki, I don't know, refers to an argument about words and their meanings. And it says this other really long word is one of the longest words in literature, coined by Aristophanes in Assemblywoman. No clue how to say that, not gonna try. The Booba Kiki effect, a psychological experiment. People consistently associate the word Kiki with a spiky shape and Booba with a rounded shape. No clue. Yakashkwata is an Australian slang for hard work or labour. The Aboriginal language Gugu Yimilher uses cardinal directions north, south, east, west instead of left and right. The Vulcan language from Star Trek was developed by linguist Mark Okrand and has a fully constructed grammar and vocabulary. The word lollygag means to spend time aimlessly or dawdle. The word set has the most definitions in the English language with over 430 meanings. Okay then. Sibilant sounds like S and SH are known as hissing sounds in linguistics. Umami is considered the fifth basic taste, along with sweet, sour, bitter, and salty. I don't know if it's related to language, but yeah. Umami, I know that like mushrooms have umami, like soy sauce has umami, stuff like that. Maybe like meat, but like I don't eat meat. But yeah, it says the word book is related to the Old English word B-O with some accent C, which also meant a written document. The alphabet saw melodies same as Twinkle Twinkle Little Star and Baba, Black Sheep, all those kid songs. The word Quixotic, Quixotic, because it's the character Don Quixote, known for his impractical and idealistic adventures. In Old English, the word girl meant a young person of either sex, boy meant a servant. Some languages, like Japanese, use different counting systems for different types of objects. The word loophole originally referred to a slit in a castle through which arrows could be shot. In the Maori language of New Zealand, there are many words like wakapa, meaning genealogy, and waka-apono, meaning belief. Cryptophagia is a phenomenon where twins or close siblings develop their private language, and we've heard of that in a bit in the other one, but I didn't really understand exactly what it was. But yeah, the word fatitious contains all 5 vowels in alphabetical order. The that language is a system of multiple endings that can convey precise information about an action. Umlaut refers to the process of changing the sound of a vowel in a word, as in the German O and U with the umlauts on top. Filibuster is a word with a political meaning that originated from the Dutch word fubata, meaning private. Sorry, I'm not pronouncing a lot of these correctly, or even trying to. Like, some of them are like super long words. That wasn't, but like I'm not trying to do that, even if it is in English. The English language has filibuster is a word with political meaning that originated from Dutch verbata, meaning private. The English language is borrowed extensively from other languages, including Latin, French, and German, resulting in a rich vocabulary. The Navajo language is a complex verb structure, incorporating aspects like tense and mood within the verb. Sarcophagus comes from the Greek words sarx and vagin, so flesh, and to eat, meaning flesh-eating scone. What? The constructed language Klingon has its own translation of Shakespeare. It's Hamlet, known as the Klingon Hamlet. That's crazy. UBYKH, an extant Northern Caucasian language, is known for having an extensive consonant serendipity was coined based on a Persian fairy tale, The Three Princes of Serendip. Recursion is a linguistic concept that refers to the ability of a language to embed phrases within other phrases. The word ampersand is a combination of and per se and, which was once the 27th letter of the English alphabet. I just noticed that like when I'm putting the light up and down on my computer, it actually like affects my face, how it shines on it. But yeah, coherence are words or phrases that people mistakenly use in place of similar sounding words or phrases, like for all intents and purposes instead of for all intents and purposes. The constructed language Ken was developed by J. or Tolkien for his fictional world in The Lord of the Rings. The letter J is one of the most recent additions to the English language, evolving from the letter I, or evolved from the letter L. I believe it's L. No. I, it's like a capital I, sorry. In A Clockwork Orange by Anthony Burgess, the protagonist Alex speaks a fictional slang called Nadshat. The word schmooze comes from Yiddish and means to engage in casual conversation, often to gain favors or advantages. The indigenous language Berea is known for its lack of fixed cardinal numbers and its whistle speech for long-distance communication. Fruno Bulax is a fictional word created by comedian Eddie Izzard to illustrate absurdity. The word melancholy originally meant black bile in Greek medicine, one of the four humors believed to affect a person's mood. The sentence I am is a sort of complete sentence in English. Grillis Bime Kutas is a series of cricket used to study phonotaxy in the lab, as they have a strong attraction to certain sounds. The language Ta, spoken by the something people of Africa, is known for its extensive system of clicks. Squash is a word that originated from the Naran Gansett language spoken by Native American tribes in the United States. The word nibbling is a gender-neutral term for niece or nephew. The word bazaar comes from the Persian word bazaar, meaning a market or marketplace, and nibbling, I swear I saw nibbling on like Reddit post and I was so confused, but I think I understood it after. Umbra is the darkest part of a shadow, while penumbra is the partial shadow surrounding the umbra. The constructed language bliss symbols was created as a symbolic writing system for the communication with nonverbal individuals. And it says the word avocado comes from the Nahuatl word ahukat, which also means testicle due to its shape. The word crisp is an example of an unbird word in English, as it doesn't have an opposite of the same length. So yeah, that is the end of the video. I believe I've got an hour of facts. My camera, I had to change the light at the start, so hopefully we have got that time. I'm not exactly sure, but I don't want to check first, but I should have gone over. Even with editing, I leave a few some space just in case the video goes down quite a bit in editing. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed. Thank you so much for watching. I hope it was interesting enough. I've got through quite a few lists. I think I've got nearly I got to 32, so 132, but I skipped a good few because they were repeats, and then between the other ones at least another 100, so at least over 200 I believe facts. Hopefully I wasn't talking too fast, but it was a whole hour, not just the 40 minutes. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Please don't forget to subscribe